Hey everyone, and welcome to the Work Smarter Not Harder Dojo with me, Tony Harmer, aka the Design Ninja. And this is the place where you can develop and hone your ninja skills with all of your favorite Creative Cloud desktop and mobile apps. What we're going to do in this movie is we're going to conjure up this enchanting scene of a unicorn in a night forest, because everybody knows unicorns only come out at the night time, and they are self-illuminating as well, as you can evidently see here. So the image that we're going to start off with is this one of some fab trees. I believe this is in South Carolina. Fantastic. Got to go here myself. And it is very, very daytime in this particular image. So what I'm going to do is select this. These are both from Adobe Stock, by the way. I'm going to select this layer just here, and then I'm going to call up the camera raw filter. Shift Command A, that would be Shift Control A on Windows, and I'll just tap F to take that out to full screen. So because unicorns only come out at night time, what we're going to do is make it much, much colder, because of course it gets colder at night time. I'm going to push the temperature over like so, quite a way, almost not quite full way, but quite a way over. And I'm just going to introduce a little bit of magenta tint in there as well. Then I'm going to drop down the exposure just a bit. Now, I'm going to leave it at that just for the moment. So I'm going to hit OK, because what I'm going to do is, while I can still see everything here nicely, I'm actually going to paint on the layer mask. So I'm going to tap on the layer mask associated with the smart filters just here. I'm going to get my brush, and I'm just holding down Control and Option. It would be Alt right drag on a Windows machine. Make my brush just a bit larger, like so. And then I'm going to tap 2 on my key to go to 20%. And then I'm going to start to paint with black to mask out this effect. Now I want the light to be coming from underneath, okay? And at the moment it comes down from on top, as you'd expect, but I want the unicorn to illuminate the scene. So what I'm going to do is just work along some of these branches just loosely, like so, on the underside. And I'll just bring my brush size down just a bit there to go over to this edge here. And actually, I'm going to increase the strength of this. I'm going to go to 40%. So I'm just tapping 4. Makes it easier to see. And then just start to roughly paint some of these in. So it makes it easier for me to actually find the branch when I need it. So I'm just going to go along the lower edges of all of these. Like so. This one here would also be affected by that. So we'll brush that in to there. Then the trunk, I'm just going to brush down here. I'm not going to go too crazy because I want to kind of brush these in delicately in a while. Okay, so I'm just going to go around that tree trunk there. That has sort of an elbow, so I've gone around that a little bit, like so. Okay, and then up to the top here. Maybe just a couple of other places that might catch the light. And obviously, I'm not going to do this in a great big long movie. So we're just going to get the edited highlights of it here, and you can of course work on your own copy. So now I've done that and I've got some idea of where those things are. I'm going to double tap the camera raw filter to go back into that. And now I'm going to bring down that exposure quite a lot, like so. Let's really go dark on that. I'm going to just dampen down the contrast as well. I'm going to take the highlights right the way down, going to take the shadows right the way down, and pretty much everything going about 3/4 of the way down, really, just to make it really, really super dark. I'm going to take some of the clarity out, like so, and I'm going to just increase the dehaze just a little bit. Just take that up, because I want the details that do show through to be really edgy. Drop down the vibrance there and the saturation. Okay, so far, so good. However, not as good as it could be. We need to do a little bit more work around this. So now I'm going to get some illumination in the grass and some deeper shadows at the back. So first of all, I'll get here the radial adjustment tool. Okay, and I'm just going to create a radial out like so. Now that's doing a great job of doing the stuff in the background there, the way this arch kind of disappears to, this natural arch. But I don't want that over the ground. So what I'm going to do is switch to brush mode just here. And then I'm just going to brush out that like so, just in that area. Okay, now if I make a mistake, of course, I can just undo and go back like so. It's just to that edge. You can also, if I just change the brush size here, hold down the Alt or Option key. And this is where I need to bring down the size of this brush as well and actually brush some of that stuff back in. Okay, so really easy to work between those. And you can also use the sliders on the right-hand side to change the brush controls as well. They're all there for you to work with. So that works pretty well just there. Excellent. I want that going really, really dark at the back. Then I'm going to add another radial adjustment. So I'm going to tap New at the top here, okay, and create a brand new one. Now, you can probably see where I'm going with this. Right, I'm going to bring that down into the middle here. I'm then going to change this to outside. So this determines where the effect is applying. Is it applying on the inside or the outside? And I actually want this to apply on the outside because what I'm doing here is actually killing off all of that sky in the background. Okay, just at the top right-hand corner, basically getting rid of that. I'm allowing some bits on the side here because of course there would be strands of moonlight and things like that coming through. Perfect. That's worked really, really well just there. Again, if I want to, I can go into brush mode here and just brush out some of this grass that actually needs to be a much, much bigger and much, much softer brush. So I'm just going to hold down Shift here while I change the feathering for the brush. Okay, so let's go with that. Perfect. Just to bring some of that back and also just a couple of dabs here and there for the highlights. Perfect. Hit OK. All right. And our result gets returned. And now you can see where this is working out really, really well with the mask that we painted earlier. So if I focus on that mask again, and again, I'm working with my brush in black just here. I tend to work really at about 20% opacity and then brush bits in gently. Okay, but as we're doing this in like a quick movie, I'm going to kind of stick with that. So hopefully you can see, I know this is going to be very, very dark for you to see, but you can see now how I'm kind of teasing out bits of this trunk just here. And I'm just going to increase the opacity here to 30% and make my brush slightly larger just to bring out some more of the tree there because it's having an add-on effect. There, really nice. Bring that out. There we go. And start to do that. Then I'm going to make my brush super big. And actually what I'll do is make that really soft as well. So now I'm going to brush in this area here. Now, in fact, that needs to go. I'm working there at 30% opacity. I'm going to drop that down to actually under 10. Now, when you want to do a value under 10, you tap 0 and then the number you want to. So if I want to go to 5%, you type 0.5 real quick, and you'll see it takes the opacity to 5% just there. That's great, because now I can brush that in much, much softer just there, because obviously you want it nice and soft at the edges. Okay, like so, but then getting brighter towards the middle there. Nice. The great thing about this is if you make a mistake and you want to brush something back in, all you need to do is tap X, assuming that white is your background color. So you could always tap D first to make sure it's the defaults, and tap X to bring white to the front, which will mean that then you can increase the mask. So here I'm just brushing in a bit of the uneven ground at the back there because it wouldn't illuminate exactly the same across everywhere in that area. Okay, and then just kind of working on this area at the bottom here. I'm going to increase that to 20% now. Let's go bigger and make sure we're nice and soft, which we are. I'm going to zoom out a shade. Yeah, of course, this is made so much easier by the fact that I'm working on a Wacom, but you could do this with a mouse. You actually could, or even a trackpad. But you just have to persevere a little bit. Okay, we're doing it that way. But you can see it's super simple to come along and just change this. Now I'm going to illuminate this. I'm going to bring my, just going to undo that, bring my brush size right down. Let's undo again. Now if I come along here strong, let's go right down on the brush again. Look at that. You can see how that's really pulling that out. The guide that I kind of painted for myself earlier, and that really has actually got the quality of a painting to it. It's super ethereal like this. There you go. And of course I could go on, I could do stacks more with this and turn this into something amazing. And if you do, I really, really would love to see it. Let's turn my unicorn group back on. You could see with a bit more work, that's going to come out really, really nice. But for now, I think we're done. Please do subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Come along to chat to me on Facebook and also on Instagram and Twitter. I'm easy to find on those, and the details coming along in just a moment. But until next time, see ya.